flashback.
This probably could have been a video on its own. I don't know why I opened this super early.
End of flashback.
And then I decided to make the video anyway. Hey guys, it's Nether. Welcome back to another video. Today, we have a big comparison for 2025 and 2026 with the rally racers. Now, I did open these guys previously in the haul video because I didn't think they were going to be super different. Turns out, they are. And I want to take a closer look at them, in this video. But along with these guys, we also have the 2026 Race and Rescue 2-pack of McQueen and Hicks here to take a look at. So what we're going to be doing in this video is quite simple. We're going to be unboxing these guys, taking a closer look at them, comparing them to their, original Thailand variants, and seeing which Race and Rescue diecast is better overall. I'm aware that Jackson and I'm pretty sure Cal also have variants, but I have not yet to find them. But who knows? Maybe now that I'm doing these, maybe I'll do them as well. If this video does well enough, I think it could be a very, very fun little comparison series for Race and Rescue here. I just grabbed this guy because I was, super hyped over 2026, and I said, you know what? Rally racers, why not? But I'm kind of regretting that now. But I came up with a fun video idea, so hey, why not? But here we have the 2026 2-pack of Lightning McQueen and Hicks. You can tell it's 2026 because it doesn't say 2025, the 95 and the 86. We've already taken a look at this pack previously on the channel, so I'm not going to go over the whole, itty-bitty specific parts of it. But they are really, really cool looking. 2022 Mattel, and of course, that's made in China logo that all of the new cars have. Considering how, these newer versions of the characters for at least Cruz and Danny were upgrades, I'm hoping that that's the same for McQueen and Hicks, but I am not holding my breath considering how China has been doing recently on this channel. It started kind of okay with Jim Reverick and Chris Roman, but it kind of just went downhill really slowly to the point where I don't even really know doing any better than Thailand did, let's be honest here. But regardless of all of that, I'm very excited to crack open Lightning McQueen and Hicks here for 2026. Let's take a look at them. And we'll obviously go back and take a look at Cruz and Danny as well, but we're just going to go in order of how I have them here. So here is Lightning McQueen for 2026 Rally Race. Oh my days, those decals are blurry. I don't know if you guys can see that, but whew, those aren't looking great. Rally Race 295, Rally Race. That looks bad. That fender does not look great. Got the 95, the decals on the side again. Nice little smile, overall expression. I think PCP's was like this too, where the eye was very uneven. You could see a bunch of black on this side, but not so much on the left side, which is quite interesting. McQueen, 95, Lightning McQueen. Alright, let's get this guy on the turntable really quick. Before we do that, I want to quickly grab the old one so you guys can see how different they are. So right is Thailand, and left is the new China variant, and I think... well, the decals look kind of ass on both of them. I can't even lie to you. They both look kind of mid. But China's looks less pixely. Look at that line. You guys see that line? The paint goes from smooth to the dotty-ish looking thing. Interesting. And I mean, the China version doesn't have this, the Thailand version doesn't have the stupid fender thing that this one does, where it looks horrific like that. Okay, solution track. Top is China, bottom is Thailand. The red is also a little different. I kind of prefer how the Thailand red looks. Sorry, the China red looks. Because it's more of a dark Lightning McQueen red than kind of the candy red that Thailand gave him. How peculiar. Okay. Let's quickly get this guy on the turntable. Just real quick. Now let's take a 360 look at the two of them. Left is the older Thailand variant, and right is the China variant. I'm a bit divided. I think the red on the newer one looks better, but everything else on the older one looks better than this one does. The decals look clearer. The paint doesn't look really weird like it does back here, where it looks really odd. You can see the line a little better. It kind of it's just weird. It's this weird divide thing, and I don't like it. It looks weird. It looks odd. I vastly prefer the older one. I think overall, the red again looks really, really good on this one, but I think the older one just barely strikes out in terms of overall print quality and quality in general. I think this one, this guy right here takes the win, the older Thailand variant. But let's go on to the next ones in this list here. Starting with, of course, Chick Hicks. Everyone's favorite sore loser, Chick Hicks, is back for 2026 in the form of his rally race appearance. Former and forever Piston Cup champion. Like the fraud he is, here is Chick Hicks in his 2026 appearance. He basically looks mostly the same, but I'm sure we'll get that older variant put up against him. He's going to look a lot different. Made in China, of course, on the bottom there. He's looking real spiffy, though. I really don't mind him. The decals are very blurry, and you can hardly read them, but I think it was like that on the older one, too, so... Oh, well, that logo looks weird. When we do the comparison, things will open up a little bit. Speaking of comparison, let's do that. Here is the older version of Chick Hicks from 2025. I don't know why I blanked there for a second. And you know what? I think China's looks better. It's really all in the details there. Like, he has so many itty-bitty sponsors that it's kind of like, which one makes them look better? And I think the top one, which is the Thailand variant. I think the top one, which is the Thailand variant, looks better, but the 86s look better on the China variant. I don't know. I think in terms of decal quality, the new one looks better. Like, you can very clearly see, like, the ones on the left there. I'll hold the camera. Like, octane gain, mood springs, little turkey piston sputter stopping on the bottom. Those get really, really blurry and really ugly. And barely readable, which isn't great. Rally Race 200. See, I knew it looked weird. The top one looks a lot better. Yeah, no, I think Thailand's gonna win this one as well in terms of decal quality, because it's just way... I mean, it's still fuzzy, don't get me wrong. It's still not perfect. It's nothing close to, like, how nice and crisp the original one looked. Like, this is an older, like, China 06... Chick Hicks, and you can see just how different those decals looked back then and how much clearer they were compared to now. So, I mean, oh, Thailand, you're no China. 2006 and 2026 brings us the crappiest decals we've seen on Chick Hicks so far. So I think without a doubt the older version looks different. I kind of like the new one's expression more, but that is not enough to win any awards in my eyes. And I think the Race and Rescue logo looks better on the newer one than it does on the older one right there. On like the front of the car. I forget what that part is called. There we go. Turntable time! A real quick 360 on the turntable for both of these guys is going to give us a little bit more of a closer look at them. I still prefer the Thailand version, which is on this side right here. This one looks so much better in terms of decals and, you know, just other things, but I think the China one does a couple things better. The 86s look better and less, like, I don't know, sloppy. The expression is better, and the Race and Rescue logo at the very front of the car is also better. So I think it's just which you prefer in your collection, personally. Some of the decals do look better, but overall it is, you know, a very... I don't know, you take some and you lose some with both of these variants, unfortunately, so it's just kind of up to preference. I'm personally probably going to put this guy on the shelf, because from the front, which is how I display my cars, he looks better. So I think China's going to stay on the shelf, but Thailand is definitely up there in terms of quality of decals overall. With those new guys out of the way, let's take a look at the older variants that we have. So let's take a look at Cruz Ramirez. Let's start with the older Thailand variant here. You'll know that in my review, I wasn't really a fan of the yellow color that they chose to use. The sponsors look fine because they're pretty big on Cruz, fortunately enough. So even if they were blurry, you wouldn't be able to tell. 51, Rally Race, Dynaco. Looking very, very nice. Now, let's bring in the newer China variant. And you can see immediately that there is a big difference in the yellow color that oh my god, that they chose to use for Cruz, and her expression is slightly different, and I like the new one a million times more. This is no contest for me. The newer one just looks better. The decals are basically the same. There's no major decrease as far as I can tell. Top one is China, bottom one is Thailand, in case you weren't paying attention. Like, the decals look basically identical. There's no noticeable downgrade because her decals are just so big that even if there was, like, a decrease in quality, you wouldn't really be able to see it. So I think overall, the newer Cruz, the China one, is a major upgrade and is the, like, one of the few China variants that I would recommend getting over the old one. Because this yellow, this, like, deep yellow just looks super good on Cruz. And I will always, always prefer it to this, like, lemon ass looking color that they have for the Thailand variant. But there's the bottoms, made in China, made in Thailand. I vastly prefer the China one by a mile, and that's not me trying to glaze. I genuinely just think that the darker yellow looks a million times better on this one. Even that logo looks better, I would say. You know, overall, no contest, the new one wins. But let's give the turntable wrap around anyway. It's funny, I had a friend of mine ask me, like, oh, well, if you already hold the cars and do a full 360, why do you do the turntable right after? Like what's the point? And I just think that the turntable is a nice way of, like, having both of them immediately side by side where you can easily see differences. Like, if you don't want to see my, like, grubby ass hands, this is just an easier way to show both of them side by side. Maybe you'll pick up on stuff that you didn't pick up in the in-hand appraisal, which is why it gets the turntable treatment. Personally, China, I keep getting mixed up. China wins this one by a landslide. It is not even close in terms of color, quality. New China takes the win, in my opinion. Such a great looking diecast. I genuinely love this one so much. I hope they keep this color of yellow for Cruz up, because that GRC one, oh my days. I love Cruz and I love GRC Cruz, but this lemon color, it's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. Give my girl the rich orange she deserves. This is just wrong. And finally, for our big rally race comparison, we've got Danny Swervez. Let's start with the older Thailand variant here. You can see that he's kind of a flat, you know, purple color. The decals actually do look pretty good, but again, it's like Cruz where they are just massive, so it's kind of hard to get that wrong or to mess them up. Rally race 299. He's a pretty good looking one. He was one of my favorites when we initially took a look at Race and Rescue those couple of months ago. I just like Danny for this series. I think it looks great. And here is that China variant. You can immediately tell that they decided to give him a bit of a metallic finish. And in my opinion, this looks a lot better. I think the logo on the front looks better. The color is just way more vibrant. Those decals took a massive hit, though. You can see, maybe I just got a bad Danny, but those decals on the side are blurry and awful. But man, that purple just looks so good. The rally race on the back also looks a bit different. This one has kind of like a weird white outline, and the bottom one doesn't have that weird problem. You can see on this side as well that the decals are still blurry, and the bottom one gets them done pretty well. But I don't know what happened to China Danny where the decals just look awful and blurry and messy. But that purple color just looks so much better. So it kind of has me split, because not even I really know which one I prefer more. I think, I don't know. I love the purple. I really do love the shiny purple that the new one offers, but those decals being the way they are, it's just kind of ugly. I'm not a huge fan of that. But let's check these guys on the turntable, and I'll keep thinking about it, because I honestly have no idea which one I like more. Alright, left is Thailand, right is China. This one is hard for me, because I like both of these diecasts a great amount. They're both really nice, and they both have their, you know, good parts of them. Like, I think the decals on this one look a lot better, but the purple on that new one just looks so good, and it's so hard for me to decide which one I like more. But I think I'm just gonna have to let the older one win in terms of just decal quality, but I'm probably still gonna keep this one on the shelf, truthfully, because when I display my cars, they're just from the front, not from the sides. You never see the sides. And this one just looks better from the front with that shiny purple look. The flat, like, purple look for Danny is just really ugly, personally. And I'm just not the biggest fan of that. I think the shiny purple that the Rally Race Edition gives him is mwah, perfect, chef's kiss. But the older, like, matte, not matte, but like just the flat purple is super ugly. So I kind of want to, I'm going to let they're both, how about this? They both win, but they win in different categories. Does that make sense? I'm not making any sense. Anyways, but of course, the big question. If you were to start collecting rally racers today, should you go for the China variant of them or the Thailand variant of them? Let's go through let's go through all 4 that I reviewed today, one by one. For Lightning McQueen, I think the answer is pretty obvious. Get you the older Thailand variant. This guy just looks a lot better. The decals are a higher quality, and he doesn't have that weird seam in his paint that just looks really awkward. So if you're going to go for any McQueen, I would say go for that Thailand one from last year. I'm pretty sure he's still pretty readily available, but if you can only find the newer one, it's not that big of a downgrade. I think they're both good in their own ways, but in my opinion, that older one, that's going to take the cake. Slide him in right there. For Hicks, I also think that getting his older Thailand variant is a lot better. His decals just look a lot better. The overall look of the car is just better. Like, I think the newer one has, like, its, you know, redeeming qualities. Like, I think the expression looks better, and the Rally Race logo on the front is a lot more readable than the older one. But I still think when it comes to decals, this guy just takes the cake because you can actually read them, and on this one, you just can't read those, man. So I think the older one takes the cake without a doubt. When it comes to Cruz, my answer should be pretty obvious. Get you the newer one from 2025. This one's still pretty readily available. I'm finding tons of them on the pegs. You know, my targets are just flooding those pegs with these 2-packs, and I honestly think that this one is a really, really great pickup. The China variant for Cruz is just a lot better. The yellow is nicer. It's so pretty. The decals are, you know, still a really nice quality despite them being China and them kind of going down sometimes. I overall think that Cruz is just the better variant for 2026 over the older Thailand release, just over that yellow color alone. You cannot tell me that this looks worse than this. I hate this yellow. Light it in right there. Likewise for Danny, I think that his newer appearance just looks better. That shiny purple is nothing to scoff at, and I think that having most of him look better over his decals is definitely going to be the win here. I think the newer Danny is the one that you should get for your personal collection over that older variant from last year. But again, the older variants for these aren't super bad. I mean, Cruz's is, but the older variants for these guys aren't bad at all. I personally do really like them. I just really prefer these newer ones a whole lot more. Let's slide that guy in. And there we have it. My personal recommendations is for these two, get their older variants, and for these two, try and get their newer ones. But with that, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want to see more of these like China versus Thailand comparisons, if you want to see maybe this same style, but for these two guys back here who are also getting their China releases, please let me know. This video was actually a lot of fun to film. I was kind of wondering if it was even going to be worth it to take a look at these guys, but I honestly think it was. These guys are really, really interesting, and I do prefer, you know, the newer ones for some of these characters, so I think this comparison is, you know, a conversation worth having. Let me know which variant you guys prefer for your racers. Personally, I mean, I made my opinion clear. Get the Thailand variants for these two and get the China variants for these two. But who knows? Maybe you guys think I'm wrong. Maybe you guys actually like this yellow color for Cruz and think that it's better. Let me know. Tear me up in the comments. Let me know how you feel about these. But with that, that's going to do it for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. We're trying to hit 800 before the end of the year, and I'm pretty sure we can pull it off. So hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss any new cars content from me. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Like and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you then. Take care. I'm not buying the China variants for the rescue vehicles. I'm not doing it. I'm serious.